Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Kareem to all of you. Thank you for joining us on Velayat News. I'm Abroo Sabzwari, and now a look at the headlines for today. Saudi Arabia and UAE pledged to give $8 billion to Egypt after coup. 30,000 jail inmates are on hunger strike in California. 53 people have been injured in an explosion in Beirut, Lebanon. Afghan officials are skeptical about U.S. troops' withdrawal from Afghanistan. Shia genocide continues in Pakistan as spy Sahaba have killed another Shia Muslim in Karachi. And now, the news in detail. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have pledged a total of $8 billion aid to Egypt, showing their support for the Egyptian army's coup against President Mohammed Morsi, the country's first democratically elected leader. Saudi King Abdullah's decision to give Egypt a $5 billion aid was announced on Tuesday, a day after army soldiers shot dead at least 55 pro-Morsi protesters in Cairo. The Saudi package will include a $2 billion interest-free deposit in the Central Bank of Egypt, a $1 billion donation, and $2 billion worth of oil and gas products. Saudi Finance Minister Ibrahim al-Assaf said that the aid was intended to support the Egyptian economy faced with the challenges which the country is going through. Meanwhile, the UAE also said on Tuesday that it would grant $3 billion in aid to Egypt, $1 billion of donation, and a $2 billion interest-free deposit in the central bank. In the early hours of Monday morning, a deadly shooting at the site of a sit-in by Muslim Brotherhood activists and their supporters in Cairo demanding the reinstatement of Morsi left 84 people, including several children, dead. Muslim Brotherhood officials said that the victims were offering morning prayers when they were shot dead. The Egyptians launched the revolution on January 25, 2011, which eventually brought an end to the 30-year dictatorship of Hosni Mubarak on February 11, 2011. As many as 30,000 inmates in California are on a hunger strike to protest against the practice of indefinitely confining prisoners. According to the LA Times, the protest, organized by a small group of inmates in solitary confinement at Pelican Bay State Prison near the Oregon border, focuses on policies under which prisoners are put in isolation indefinitely, some even for decades, if they are suspected of having links to prison gangs. According to the corrections spokesperson, Terry Thornton, the prisoners at 11 state facilities started their strike on Monday by refusing breakfast and lunch. The strikers want a 5-year limit on such kinds of isolation, as well as education rehabilitation programs and the right to make phone calls on a monthly basis. According to corrections policy, a hunger strike is not declared until inmates miss 9 meals. The number of Monday's protesters is far more than 2 years ago, when 11,600 inmates refused meals at one point. Around 2,300 prisoners are not only skipping meals, but they are also skipping work and class. Currently, the California prison system holds more than 10,000 prisoners in solitary confinement units, of whom dozens have spent over 20 years each in isolation. At least 53 people have been injured after a powerful explosion has rocked the southern suburbs of the Lebanese capital, Beirut. The blast occurred in the suburb of Bir al-Abid on Tuesday, sending black smoke billowing into the sky and causing reportedly heavy damage. Several cars and buildings were on fire in the wake of the blast. On the same day, a man was injured after Lebanon's Interior Ministry guards fired in the air to disperse protesters who had assaulted the minister Marwan Charbel during his visit to the site of the explosion. Lebanon's caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati has condemned the attack, saying it was meant to stimulate unrest in Lebanon. Meanwhile, a Hezbollah lawmaker, Ali Ahmad, issued a statement saying there is a clear fingerprint of Israel and its instruments in this deed. The bomb attack is the second strike to hit southern Beirut this year. Back in May, 2 rockets hit the area. Lebanese security forces have also disarmed several rockets near Beirut in recent months. The White House and Pentagon officials said the United States is considering pulling out all of its troops from Afghanistan next year, but is still far from making a final decision. Amid tensions between Obama and Afghan President Hamid Karzai on the path forward, White House spokesman Jay Carney told reporters that a zero option of leaving no U.S. troops in Afghanistan after 2014 is among the policy possibilities under consideration. He also added that this is not an imminent decision. Obama is committed to winding down U.S. military involvement in Afghanistan by the end of 2014. The United States has been talking with officials in Afghanistan about keeping a small residual force there of perhaps 8,000 troops after 2014. At the Pentagon, spokesman George Little played down friction with Karzai and expressed confidence that there was still plenty of time and space to negotiate a bilateral security pact allowing for U.S. troops to stay in Afghanistan. Karzai suspended talks on that pact in June, accusing Washington of mixed messages regarding peace talks with the Taliban. It was among the latest signs of deep tensions between U.S. officials and the Afghan leader. Senior Afghan figures close to Karzai expressed skepticism that the United States would consider a complete withdrawal. The number of U.S. troops in Afghanistan, now around 63,000, is set to decline to 34,000 by February. The White House has said the great majority of American forces will be out of Afghanistan by the end of 2014. U.S. troops have been in Afghanistan since 2001. The United States invaded Afghanistan to topple the Taliban rulers who had harbored the Al-Qaeda network responsible for the September 11 attacks on the United States. In Pakistan, 30-year-old Shia Muslim Mansoor Hussain Jafri, son of Sabir Ali Jafri, has been shot and martyred by Saudi-funded terrorists of Spy Sahaba in Karachi on Monday. According to details, the banned Takfiri terrorists of outlawed Spy Sahaba ambushed Mansoor Hussain in Sector 7D, Surjani town. He embraced martyrdom on the spot. The genocide of Shia Muslims has been witnessed in the country from the last 3 decades with the backing of Pakistan's civil and army establishment. Thousands of Shia elders, notables, professionals, and leaders have been gunned down by the Saudi-sponsored terrorists in Pakistan. Pro-Taliban Wahhabi terrorists have killed thousands of innocent Shia Muslims in Pakistan, but government, judiciary, and law enforcement agencies have failed to protect the citizens and have not taken any practical steps to stop Shia genocide in the country. Shia parties and leaders have condemned the targeted murder of Shia youth and demanded the arrest of the killers and their public hanging. The holy and blessed month of Ramadan is here. Muslims from around the world in Syria, Pakistan, Iraq, Afghanistan, Palestine are suffering and being killed mercilessly. We request all of you to please keep those families and innocent children in your prayers and thoughts during this holy month of Ramadan. And that brings us to the end of our bulletin today. If you'd like to contribute your community's news, you can email us at news@VelayatTV.org. You can also get the latest headlines and more by visiting our website, VelayatTV.org, or subscribe to and follow us on our YouTube and Facebook pages, Velayat TV USA. Many thanks for joining us. Till next time, I'm Abroo Sabzwari. Fi amanillah.